Thinking about buying a bread maker? 1 year ago, I was right where you are, comparing models, reading reviews, and wondering if it was actually worth it. I wanted healthier ingredients, lower costs, and hassle-free baking. And today, after a full year of using mine, I'm sharing everything I learned so you can decide if a bread machine is right for you. So here's what happened within the past year. I didn't just make standard bread, I made all of this. Loaf bread, raisin bread, cake bread with chocolate chips and cocoa powder, a sweet French bread called pain de mie with fresh cream and condensed milk, cinnamon loaf with raisins, regular French bread, marble bread, brioche, chocolate bread with chocolate chips, and this one, the rice bread, the only loaf that failed because I used gluten-free rice flour instead of rice flour with gluten. Completely my fault. Of course it's your fault, mon ami. You must follow my direction. I understand, Pierre, thank you. I often name and give personalities to my kitchen appliances. It just makes cooking more fun. Right, Pierre? Mon ami, I am getting ready to make the cinnamon rolls. I need to concentrate. Okay, Pierre, sorry about that. But one secret that really helps me follow your directions perfectly, my kitchen scale. Because a cup of flour is never exactly the same, but 120 grams is always 120 grams. By weighing my ingredients carefully from the start, every loaf comes out perfect. Even Pierre approves. And hey, let me know in the comments what name you'd give your bread maker. Today, we'll be making the perfect cinnamon rolls. And speaking of perfect, the dough function is what makes this machine a real game changer. Ah, my hidden superpower, mon ami. It's more than a loaf maker, it's a full kitchen helper. In just 8 minutes, it creates perfect dough. No kneading, no rising, no mess. Suddenly, I can make pizza dough, pretzels,
the great yellow sun is reflecting in your deep blue eyes. The day
naan,
has begun. You spin around, you spin
dumplings,
around, you laugh to yourself, and I see you shine in every color, resting your head in my arms. You sing la 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 la. My God, I think I might be in love.
taco skins,
Of all your sorrows in this
steamed buns,
you'll never feel alone. As long as you're with me, get rid of all your sorrows in this summer city. There's no place on earth I would rather be.
basically anything I could imagine making at home just by changing the ingredients that go into the buckets. This is why I can create so many new things. The dough function completely changed what I thought I could make at home. It made baking faster, easier, and way more fun. For me, however, there was one limit. I didn't have an oven here in Japan. But last month, I got an air fryer with a bake function, which let me use the dough in ways I never could before. Now I can take the dough straight from the bread maker and bake things like perfect cinnamon rolls. And for those of you with ovens, you can do the same thing with your conventional oven too. Which brings me to another reason I decided on the Panasonic bread maker. This thing has 43 different menu options. 43! You're not just getting a bread maker, you're getting a bread maker that can do specialty loaves like French, rye, whole grain, and even rich pain de mie, low sugar bread, raw bread, pizza dough, pasta dough, udon, mochi, jams and compotes, fudge, and so much more. Mon ami, I am a very sophisticated machine. Yes, Pierre, very sophisticated. And for some of the presets, you can even set a delay start timer, so you wake up to fresh bread. In addition to the 43 automatic menus, there's also a manual mode where you can control the kneading, fermentation, and baking step by step. I never used it before because I didn't have an oven, but now that I do, that whole part of the machine just opened up for me. Don't forget the raison dispenser, curious veal. Today's important. Right, the automatic automatic raisin and nut dispenser. Pierre is very proud of that one. So between the dough function, the 43 presets, the delay start timer, the manual mode, and now being able to bake things properly, I can finally use even more of what my bread maker can do. And I'm excited to share all these discoveries with you in the future. But today, I'll finally make something I've been dreaming about for an entire year. Real cinnamon rolls. Before this, I could only make a cinnamon loaf with the bread maker, not actual rolls. However, the taste was still amazing. And don't worry, if you don't have an air fryer, you can just use a regular oven. All right, let's get started. For the dough, it's all simple, everyday ingredients. Bread flour, butter, sugar, a little milk, salt, half a beaten egg, some cold water, and of course, dry yeast. I'll have all the exact measurements listed in the description below. And for the filling, we're keeping it classic and cozy. Just sugar, cinnamon, and a touch of milk. And for the icing on top, we'll look at 2 easy options later while the dough is baking. All right, let's get this dough started. We'll add everything straight into the bread machine buckets. First the bread flour, then the butter, sugar, a little milk, the salt, half a beaten egg, and finally the cold water. Once everything is in, place the bucket back into the machine and lock it in. Next, we'll add the yeast to the yeast compartment. Let's close it all up. On my machine, this is menu number 17, so I'll select that and then press start. And in 55 minutes, the dough will be ready. Wow, look at Pierre, hard at work. Let's get everything ready for shaping the cinnamon rolls. Now we'll add the cinnamon to the sugar and mix it together. I have a small bowl with some milk and a brush. This is what we'll use to lightly paint the dough before adding the filling. My raisins are ready to go. For the filling, we're using regular sugar, not powdered sugar, because it gives it a little crunch, caramelizes nicely, and keeps the cinnamon swirls defined. Powdered sugar melts too fast inside the dough, so save that for the icing on top. After 55 minutes, the bread maker beeps. That's our signal that the dough is ready. Now we'll take it out of the bucket and roll it out. Roll the dough so it's longer horizontally than vertically, like a rectangle. Next, brush a little milk over 3/4 of the dough, leaving a small edge unpainted. This helps the cinnamon sugar mixture stick without making the dough soggy. Then sprinkle the cinnamon sugar mixture evenly over the milk-covered area. And finally, evenly place the raisins over the cinnamon sugar mixture. Now for the fun part. Roll the dough up from the filling side like a snake, keeping it snug but not too tight. Once it's rolled, cut it into 8 equal pieces. These will become our individual cinnamon rolls. Let's spray a little oil on the air fryer basket. Now we'll place the rolls into the air fryer and brush them lightly with milk to keep the top soft while they proof. Next, let's talk about proofing. No need to preheat the air fryer because we want the dough to warm up slowly. Preheating could start baking the buns on the outside before they've had a chance to rise properly. Since my Cosori air fryer has a proof function, I'll set it to 30 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. If your air fryer doesn't have a proof function, don't worry. You can simply place the rolls on a tray at room temperature in a warm spot. Cover them lightly with a clean kitchen towel and let them rise for about 40 to 60 minutes until they're puffy. Either way, we want soft, airy rolls ready for baking. Now that our buns are nicely proofed, it's time to bake them. Since the basket is still warm from proofing, there's no need to preheat the air fryer. We can go straight to baking. For extra color and shine, you can brush a little milk or butter on top right before baking. This gives them a beautiful golden finish. I'll switch the Cosori to the bake function at 165 Celsius and bake for about 12 to 15 minutes. We'll check at the 10-minute mark. We want the tops golden brown and the rolls soft and fluffy inside. Now, if your air fryer doesn't have a bake function, don't worry. You can still bake the buns using a regular air fryer setting at 165 degrees Celsius for 10 to 12 minutes. Just watch carefully. The strong circulating fan can brown the tops quickly. If you're using a regular oven, preheat it to 175 degrees Celsius and bake the rolls for about 15 to 18 minutes. While the dough is baking, let's make our icing. We're going to look at two versions, depending on your taste and what you have at home. First is a simple vanilla glaze. Traditionally, it's made with powdered sugar, a splash of milk, and a little vanilla extract. To make it, just mix the powdered sugar with a bit of milk and vanilla until it becomes smooth and pourable. It's easy, inexpensive, and gives you that classic bakery-style white drizzle. But today, we're going for that Cinnabon-style, thick, white goopy glaze. So we'll be making the second icing. And since cream cheese is a bit expensive here in Japan, we're using condensed milk instead. For this glaze, we need condensed milk, powdered sugar, and just a tiny bit of regular milk to smooth it out. Since I don't have powdered sugar, I'm making my own by grinding regular sugar with about a half teaspoon of cornstarch in a small grinder. The cornstarch keeps the glaze smooth and helps prevent clumping. Once the sugar is ready, mix it with the condensed milk. Then add the regular milk little by little until you reach your perfect texture. I'll have the exact measurements for both in the description below, but either one will make these cinnamon rolls look and taste amazing. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's been 10 minutes. I think that's good. Yeah, I think we'll go with it. We'll go with that. 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, let's go 2 more minutes. Let's try 2 more minutes. Okay, we did another 2 minutes. Let's take it out. Okay. We'll let these cool off a minute before we put on our frosting. Oh my gosh. Well, let's just separate them a bit. There we go. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. That is perfection. It feels so soft. Can't wait to put the icing on there. Look at that. You see the cinnamon sugar? Let's drizzle some of these over the top. So good. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I made it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Sorry, Cinnabon, but this is better than yours. This is fantastic. It's soft inside, crunchy on the outside a bit. And that cinnamon sugar with the raisins is so good. And the icing, it all comes together. Mission accomplished. We did it. These are fantastic. If you try this at home, and I highly recommend you do, let me know in the comments below how they come out, because they are fantastic. Best Cinnabons ever. Okay, this is what it looks like on the inside. I'm gonna take the crisper tray out. Let's throw that in there. Okay, we don't have to wash this. Okay, you see that in there? I don't know. I guess the dough comes off a little bit. See that? But that's crispy. I mean, we are not going to waste anything here. Okay, so we're going to use my spoon here. Oh, see that? Look at that. cinnamon sugar, and we're gonna pop it in a bowl like there. That's gonna be a snack. Some raisins in there too. Waste not, want not. Whoa. There we go. Makes it easier to clean too if I just eat it all. There. Okay. So look at this. You see that? See? Like this. Alright, let's try this one. Mmm! That is good. See that goopiness right there? Look at that dough. Ah, crunchy, sweet, heaven. Don't waste a thing. Take from the bottom here. Take the bottom here, spoon, in here, and eat that later. It is so good. Oh my goodness. Thanks so much for watching. If you decide to pick up this bread maker, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you make with it. I'll be sharing lots more recipes for this machine throughout the year. So stay tuned. And if you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. Pierre and I really appreciate it. See you next time. Sayonara. Au revoir, mon ami.